She was tall, nearly 6 feet, with large, muscular hands and a deep voice, a voice crafted by years of cigarette smoke. She had long, luminous blonde hair that she carefully maintained, and often wore Birkenstocks while she sculpted figures in clay, a cigarette dangling from her mouth, ashing on the floor. She loved chocolate ice cream and panettone cakes and Malomars, buying several boxes each fall when they arrived in the store. She was fond of sushi and was a regular at a small place near Tompkins Square Park. She was one who enjoyed talking while she ate, the person seated across from her often dodging rice that shot from her chattering mouth, like a cooking kettle of popcorn with the lid off. She was fond of cooking lamb, bloody rare with a mint sauce, or pasta rolling in heavy cream with fresh cooked peas, dusted with finely grated Reggiano. During Thanksgiving, she made a zesty cranberry and orange sauce that everyone loved. She was sensitive but tough, qualities that served her well as a mother, as a wife, as a boss. She made a living designing window displays for an off-price clothing store in New York City and taught college-level courses at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology. She was good with tools, drills and jigsaws and industrial glue guns. She loved to fish, especially out in the ocean, wrapping a large hook with clam meat in the hopes of catching sea bass that were running up the coast of Long Island. She always drove a large truck of some sort with a full-size 8-foot bed, and usually with 4 doors. She was an aggressive driver, and the dents and scrapes that adorned the truck's sides gave anyone pause, anyone trying to race her to the mouth of the Lincoln Tunnel. She lived in an old shuffleboard factory that had been converted into a work studio and apartment. It was a makeshift affair that seemed to suit her 2 boys, and her husband well enough. She had an office that was always teetering on the edge of disaster. Large format printers with endless tubes of unspooled paper leaning over the racks of ink cartridges and art books, and bins of old computer parts and telephones. She loved babies and was often the first to visit the hospital when a friend or family member had just delivered, always bringing cakes and coffee for the new mom and dad. She had a dog named Mackie, perhaps the happiest yellow lab that ever lived. She loved to reminisce of her Studio 54 days, dancing among the queers and the celebrities, suggesting with a wink and a pinch of her nose that some drugs may have been involved. She had no regrets. She was raised Catholic in an Italian home and remained close to her sister and brother and parents. Raised with the saints, Peter, Paul, Joseph, and the gang. to St. Christopher, the finder of lost things, when she misplaced her car keys or her purse. A Catholicism that would not entertain divorce, unable to leave her manic husband. She had an ability to look past the chaos that swirled around him and around her. She spoke Italian and lived in Italy for several years, where she learned to work in oil, clay, and marble. Her large hands suited for the task. When she gave birth to her 2 sons, those same powerful hands were ready for the rigors of child-rearing, the molding and the shaping of those new lives. She walked with a slight limp that became more pronounced in her later years. Basketball injuries from high school and the demands of her display work with its ladders and heavy equipment had ruined one of her knees. A knee she would have replaced when she could no longer handle the pain of bone on bone. The sole breadwinner holding down 2 demanding jobs. Her husband absent most of the time, consumed with his various forms of self-destruction. She was a person that had no time for illness or martyrdom. One who towards the end could not be bothered with the detritus piling up around her, the mice in the kitchen, the leaking roof in the hallway, or the milk crates of oily car parts strewn about the rooms. Parts to a car her husband would never repair. She would develop cancer, swearing off chemotherapy, preferring instead to follow a homeopathic treatment that had her consuming vast quantities of beta-carotene that left her perpetually orange, but no longer in need of reading glasses. As the cancer worsened and the clutter increased, it narrowed her passage. All that love and vitality overrun by illness. Her long blonde hair finally lost to a chemotherapy that would come too late. Her eyes deep and dark, her body frail, her voice turning to a whisper on the telephone. After she died, her childhood guitar was given to a family friend just before it was about to be donated to the Salvation Army. Its light amber body and neck, the color of her hair. The frets lovingly worn in the first position. The result of playing all those campfire chords when she was young. When strumming that guitar, he often thought of the last time he saw her alive. She was in her large white truck, rushing to the dark mouth of the Lincoln Tunnel, wearing a short, blonde, spiked wig and an anxious, worried look on her face amidst the tight traffic of rush hour. Still tough, still formidable in her navigation. Oh, Saint Christopher, will you please help us find our lost Mary? We do miss her so.